Hey everybody, how's it going? It's Ty back with another tutorial, and today we're going to be breaking down a sample that sounds like kind of like Frank Dukes and Kingsway Music Library and their vintage feel. So let's get into it. I started off with these guitar chords. These are the same chords on both acoustic and electric guitar. I'll play the acoustic first. So for that we have EQ and S1 to get rid of the noise. And we have guitar rig to make it a little brighter. We have another EQ just to cut the lows and highs. Then we have reels, it helps it sound a little more vintage. And then the flangus trick where you boost the delay and turn the SPD all the way down, and that just makes it sound more spacey and sounds like kind of like, it gives it a room effect kind of. And then on the electric guitar it's the same chords. It's basically the same plugins. It's EQ and S1 to get rid of noise from recording. Guitar rig, reels, EQ again, and then flangus. And those are pretty simple. It's nothing special. Now we move on to the keys. These chords, these are the same chords as guitar. Now the only thing special I did was add this this piano sprinkle right here. And that's basically it. It just follows the same chords as the guitar. Together the three sound like this. I have the acoustic in the intro and the electric comes later. Now that just repeats, and then next we have this bass line. This I actually recorded live on my real bass. It's an Ibanez TMB 100, I believe. And for this I just added an EQ to cut the highs, and S1 to get rid of noise, compressor, another EQ to boost the lows, and then guitar rig on a bass setting. And I also added the wah effect in the guitar rig. Next I have these pads that I played on the Prophet. It's a really nice synth that's really expensive too. And it sounds like this. They just follow the same exact chords as everything else. And then for more Prophet synths, I have this arpeggio that comes in later. For this, most of it comes from the synth, but I added a little bit. I added EQ, compressor, reels, flangus to make it sound spacey, reverb, and then more EQ. And then I put it in mono, as you can see down here, because because I think it sounds dope when you add flangus to make it sound spacey and then you put it in mono. It makes it have like a room effect. And then I have this synth chord from the Prophet. And all of these just follow the same exact chords as the guitar. There's nothing special. Then next I added a brass. And a lot of these I just cut a little bit of the high end just to make it sound more vintage and have like a vintage warmth to it. And then I added reels, chorus, and flangus. And most of the plugins I use are stock, so either stock plugins or like pretty cheap plugins. Like I think I got reels for 30 bucks, so it's very doable. Next I added this synth run. This was actually played from the Prophet. I recorded one note and then it sounded like this and then I reversed it. And it just gives it a really cool effect when the whole sample drops. And that just plays throughout the entire sample. Next I'll break down this guitar over here that comes in the second half of the sample. And that just has a rock preset from Guitar Rig. It has compressor, it's got reels to make it sound vintage. It's got EQ, delay, reverb to give it space. And then flangus at the end to give it more space, but just a little bit. And then the last part, actually the second to last part that I gotta break down is the drums. These drums are Abbey Road Vintage Drummer. It's a contact library. I made this pattern with it in piano roll. And for effects, I actually added a lot. I added EQ, J37 to give it a older sound, compressor. I added reels to give it the older sound even more. I added flangus to give it a little bit of space. I added reverb. And then just 2 more EQs. But this EQ is automated for the intro, so you could actually see the automation clip right here. And I also automated the stereo separation to make it in mono in the intro, and I added phaser. So this is what the drums sound like in the intro. And then that's when it actually drops. Now for vocals are pretty simple. It's just a choir. It's just me layering the same vocal notes but recorded 5 different times. And for this I just added autotune, NS1, compressor, reels, flangus, reverb, and then EQ. It's not that special. Most of it just comes out of the recording. I believe I recorded this on my iPhone, so it sounds more... When you record your vocals on the iPhone, or on any phone, then it just sounds more warm. It has like a warmth to it, so it makes it sound older. I think it sounds dope. And overall, the sample sounds like this. anyways, that's the end of it. I hope you guys enjoyed the tutorial. I enjoyed making this sample. That's actually one of my favorite samples that I've ever made. So I'm pretty happy to be breaking it down. This is actually going to be in my next sample pack that's coming out. My next sample pack is going to be pretty dope. It's gonna have samples, and it's gonna have a little extra stuff that you'll see when it comes out. And anyways, have a great day.